What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Trace, aka your faithful host, Let's Play Dark Souls HD, and I've come to tell you something that you probably already know by looking at the video title. Yes, we are starting over, and yes, it is for a good reason. First of all, my playthrough performance so far has not been expert whatsoever. I mean, all those noob deaths. No, not expert at all. I wouldn't even call that an expert ass kicking. Now, for one, I don't think I'm going to do the hard mode difficulty. Not because it's too hard, but simply because all the goblins and the weaker enemies one-shotting you in the beginning, that doesn't make the game more difficult. It just makes it annoying. If I'm gonna sit here and do a full playthrough for you guys, why would I make the experience annoying? Coming home and saying that I'm gonna do something that's going to annoy the piss out of me for an hour straight is like saying I want to wake up every morning and take a cold shower. It doesn't go that way. No, I don't think I'm gonna do the hard mode. The sheer inconvenience of how much stamina you waste doing one special attack completely defeats the purpose of using them at all, because you do require stamina to run and move. So no, hard mode, I would have loved to have done it for you guys, but no, I like taking advantage of the game's fighting mechanics and using special moves. That is something that I enjoy in this game, and I'm going to do that. If hard mode is going to stop me from doing that, then hard mode can go suck a dick. So I'm staying on normal mode. And the other thing is, I cannot help but notice the constant rambling and losing track of topic that I did while playing. That also needs to stop. So definitely all the noob deaths in the beginning are not only unacceptable, but they're downright embarrassing. Completely embarrassing. For somebody who likes to think that they were completely untouchable in this game at one point, a real flash of reality has seriously hit me during my last recording, and I had a bit of an epiphany. For one, all of the stupid rambling and nonsense and losing track of topic and constantly trying to point out attention to detail, not being able to do it to save my life, is obviously going to go. I can obviously do that much faster and more effectively without sounding like a complete moron. And all the noob deaths are going to stop too, because I completely ruined the beginning of the game. I started completely wrong, and I realized that I need to go back to my old playstyle, which is with a female arisen, spoiler alert. And the fact that I was obviously a lot more witty and on my toes as I played before. My other walkthrough, I'm not going to say is necessarily better than this one, but my old walkthrough didn't suck nearly as bad in the beginning. So that's what's going to change when I start over. No more rambling about nonsense and everything and pointing out attention to detail like an idiot. And no more noob deaths. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the real Dragon's Dogma expert walkthrough. Thank you. Welcome to the real expert walkthrough of Dragon's Dogma, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are on the beach of Cassardis right after the attack of the dragon. And there is my brand new Arisen lying on the beach with her own heart
Help me! She's still alive!
torn from her chest. So the real adventure is about to begin now.
Take up arms, newly arisen.
Okay, guys. We already know this. Meet Ilea. This is the true Arisen that we are going to conquer this game with. I always play better with female Arisens for some reason, and to be honest, they're just cooler. Female characters are way cooler in this game. So it's time to take up arms. Alright, I went with a fighter last time, but it didn't go so well, because it just wasn't the greatest thing. I fight so much better with range in the beginning of the game, so this time I decided that it'd be much better if I went with the Strider. So we need to do that. And all of these tutorial messages, nonsense, I'm going to go ahead and turn those off because we've already seen them and they are simply going to get in the way. So we're definitely getting rid of that. I'm going to keep it. I know, I stressed very heavily that I was going to take it off of hard mode, but due to how expensive the shit in this game can get, I'm going to keep it on hard mode in the beginning, so I can maintain a decent amount of gold before I actually start having to buy a bunch of stuff. And I do want the blank scroll. That's something I forgot to get in the beginning when I started last time. I'm pretty sure there's nothing in there, just an empty flask. But where there's empty flasks, there are oil and water barrels. I don't see any oil, I only see water, but that's okay.
You say it left a glowing scar?
Yes. The wound has closed, and it seems the worst has passed, but her heart lies silent.
If you would face me.
You are sure of this?
Yes.
Ill magic, the work of some curse. The whole world's already gone mad for fear of this dragon. Won't no good come of this? I must go see to the others, Kina. Tell me if aught changes here.
All right.
Alright, I'm sorry if you guys could hear a small bit of echo right there. It was, I forgot to mute my TV. So as you know before, I explained to you that you definitely want to go in this room and loot the greenwarish. It is a healing herb. And you can take the broom and the bucket and stuff like that. It's a bit useful it's a bit useless in my opinion, but I mean, hey, you can grab it if you want. Because there are uses for just about every item in this game, whether it be by an odd quest or if it just be to sell for money.
You should be abed. I wish you would not strain yourself so. I'm worried for you, cuz.
And like I said before, she's not lying. I know Kina seems a bit sneaky and everything right now, like, you know, she secretly doesn't trust you and is kind of afraid of you, but believe it or not, she only ever cared for your love and safety. So let's go ahead and start anew. Here we are, Cassardis. Lovely little hometown. Nice place to loot in the beginning of the game without danger of any kind. We picked up an empty flask, so we can obviously get some oil. And you don't want to miss the nice little secret spots I showed you in the beginning of the game on any playthrough. You slide down this first cliff, take a trip over here, and you'll find 3 chests. They all have something valuable in them. That's worth money. That cures magical debilitations. And that is good for mixing. Yes, having daggers and a bow is much better in the beginning of the game. Having a shield in the beginning of the game is good too, I won't doubt that, but this is better. Cassardite is a mixture item. Cloud wine again is a mixture item. So you can jump down here. And these seagulls, you can kill anything in this game. The seagulls usually drop eggs. I didn't get one that time, but the egg, it heals health and stamina. It's a pretty good item. As common as an egg is, it's simply an egg. It's very good to have. I'm out of practice. I used to have deadly aim in this game. So when you talk to this guy, he will give you some valuable information about why you cannot swim in this game. First, let's take a look at why you cannot swim. That right there is stopping you from swimming. And this is what happens when you stay in it too long. You get swallowed up. Why did we get swallowed up? This guy's gonna tell us.
There's talk of monsters emerging from the shallows all along the shore. Nasty things, too. The brine, they call them. They say they're many, and yet one, whatever that means. Seems this brine can't be bested what's more. Naught to do but avoid the water's edge.
Okay, and right he is. Now let me explain the most valuable thing about the brine you can possibly never figure out if you don't ever pay attention. And pick up the airtight flask. The thing about the brine is, when I got swallowed up right there, technically I did not die, meaning I didn't have to go back to a save point or a checkpoint. So, when you get swallowed up by the brine, it simply spits you out right where you fell in. So, take a quest, for example. Say you're lost somewhere, or maybe you don't know how to further progress in a quest line. All you have to do is drop into a body of water that seems too deep to swim in, and the brine will swallow you up, spit you back out at the very beginning of the level. It's a very useful mechanic. So even though the brine kind of seems like your enemy right now, it'll definitely be your friend later. I'm going to explore the beach real quick because there are chests hidden out here. And the chests, they do blend in with destroyable crates. Come on. Break. 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 There we go. No, you don't have to break those crates to get into that chest. I was just being overdramatic. I do believe there is one more chest over here as well. Alright, we are getting that Harspud. So, the menu is essentially like any other RPG. You have curatives, tools, you have materials, you have special, which is essentially keys and other useful items that you will pick up that are required to progress through a certain level or dungeon. You have other, which is basically items that cannot be utilized physically, like in your hands. They're items that can be utilized as strategies and stuff like that. And they contain information. The other category is a good way. That's a good way to describe the other category. Something that contains information required to move forward in a quest. And then you have your equipment, which none of this is really new to us. So yeah, the curative slot contains things that will heal health, stamina, and get rid of debilitation, such as being set on fire, poison, curse, blindness, things like that. And the tools are things that will make your life more convenient, such as the lantern, which will light up the dark. These Periopt tools are essentially buff items. They amplify strength, magic, defense, you know, all kinds of stuff like that. The airtight flask is something that is used to preserve things, and the empty flask is used to obtain water and oil. And now, one good bit of information about the oil and the water flasks is Not only is the flask of water good for drinking, and the flask of oil is good for refilling your lantern, these are obvious uses of these tools, but the flask of water can be thrown at enemies to soak them in water. Thus they take more damage from lightning, and the flask of oil can also be hurled at enemies, thus giving them more susceptible damage to fire. So these are smart mechanics to keep in mind. And let's see if I can snipe this. Yeah! Gotcha. I think you're going. Where do you think you're going? Man, I'm so out of practice. Now, as you can see, I have a little torso icon next to my health and stamina. That means I am drenched in water, and you can physically see my character drenched in water. That means if I were to be hit by lightning magic right now, I'd probably take about 50% more damage, which is no joke. Because magic in itself is... it hurts. It is a dangerous adversary in this game. Alright. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to journey to the top of the village where there are a couple quests available for us that we can just knock out right in the beginning of the game. Alright. Okay, there's nobody over there worth talking to anyway. This guy right here has a really easy quest.
Hey, a moment. I would not ask this of anyone but you, cousin. I've news for Merrin. Dark news. I fear I cannot bring myself to face him. Will you go in my stead?
Sure, buddy.
His brother is dead. It happened on the shore a ways. We were fleeing the worm, and Cortez leapt before the beast's talons to shield us. I saw it. Saw him hurtling through the air. Saw him fall back to the ground. I did nothing. Just watched the poor man die. I cannot face Merrin for the shame of it. He deserves to know what happened, but please go and tell him.
Alright, you big baby. I'll go tell Merrin. Okay. And yes, that was my cat. Pay her no mind. On the way back down to Merrin, whom we are looking for to tell grave news of his dead brother, Cortez, we're going to explore just a little bit. We found some Hearthspud right there, which was good. Now, if you see that chest down there, take note of its appearance. This right here looks like a fancy chest. It looks different than the other two. Now, the most common chests are the rectangular box-like ones. The in-between chests, I believe the ones that contain medium to rare items, are the round ones. And the chests that contain really good stuff is the fancy-looking chest. Now, this is by no means fact whatsoever. I simply made that up because I like to think that I'm always going to get something really cool if I get into a fancy chest. So you can believe me if you want, or don't. Now this little area over here, it's good for searching herbs because curatives like the potent greenwars, which is an excellent healing item for us right now, those are absolutely invaluable. And searching these bushes for more healing items is, I mean, there's no harm in doing so. More healing items for us means more healing items we don't have to buy. Alright. So now it's time to go run up to Merrin. And he's very easy to find. He's directly on the other side of the destroyed building in the middle of the place where all of these resting people are. This is Merrin. Now, the other reason he was so easy to find is because he is the red circle on the map. I'll explain to you why he is the red circle on the map. When you pull up your quest menu, you only have one quest, obviously, because that's the only one that we've accepted. It shows our completed quests as well. Harbinger of Destruction is the the prologue where we faced the dragon and got our heart torn out, and Newly Arisen is the quest that we just completed by choosing our vocation. Our current quest is Grim Tidings, where we need to go talk to Marin, which we have already found him. As you can see, there is a little orange sword next to the quest, symbolizing it is prioritized. Of course it's prioritized because it's the only quest we have, but whatever quest has the little glowing orange sword next to it is going to be the quest that affects your map, and it will affect the bubbles above someone's head. Meaning, if my quest was not prioritized, Mr. Marin here would not have a red bubble above his head, symbolizing that he would not be my priority.
What? Cortez is found?
No.
I see. Elvar has suffered in this as well. Cortez made his choice. He faced his end with valor and died a man.
Sounds to me like he died a dog.
Elvar bears no fault in that. He has no cause to blame himself. My thanks, good Fisher. I am sorry this burden fell upon you. I shall go and put Elvar at ease.
You should kick him in the nuts for making me talk to you. Alright. So now, right here is, okay. It doesn't matter at what point you do this, but whatever point in the beginning of the game you decide to enter this little area here where the village gate is, you'll be confronted with a cutscene where you receive your first pawn. Now, before I activate said cutscene, let me explain to you what pawns are. Your pawn is an irreplaceable fighter that you are given in this game. Your pawn is essentially your permanent teammate who will follow you to hell and back. He will fight alongside you, he will die for you. But the pawn that they give you in the beginning of the game is not your pawn. It is simply a pawn that everybody is given. His name is Rook. He is a very weak and mildly useful mage who can buff your weapon and do fire damage with small healing abilities. By no means is he powerful at all, but he will make the beginning of the game substantially easy for you. He'll heal you, meaning you won't have to use very many items. He will buff your weapon to do fire damage, so you'll be able to kill enemies faster. And he can also do projectile fire attacks, which everything in the beginning of the game is weak to fire. Absolutely everything. So he is quite useful in the beginning of the game, but I don't suggest hanging on to him for very long, because everybody is given Rook in the beginning of the game, and then shortly after you receive your main pawn, which you get to design yourself. That's Rook. He's a handsome fellow.
That man you are speaking with, he's of the Pawn Legion. They come from some unknown place, just appear without a warning. They're a strange lot. Not human, quite. They look the part, sure enough, but they lack the will, the spark, what drives us. They have no capacity to feel nor act alone, so they live as sellswords. Myrmidons, they're called. There's an encampment west of the village where men gather to face the dragon. I'd wager a fair number of his kind will be there as well. Why don't you take him? Might be you learn aught of why he came to you in the first place.
Alright, so, stepping at the front of the village... Shut up, Rook. Stepping up to the front of the village and being given Rook as your first pawn, it automatically gives you another quest line. Let's take a look at that. A Pawn is the new quest we've been given. Lead the pawn to the encampment west of the village. That's all the quest details we have for that quest. So our current quest is still Grim Tidings. As you can see, it has the orange sword next to it. I can prioritize whichever one I want. As you can see, it's very easy. And this is an easy way to just maneuver through the game as you please at whatever speed you want. You can prioritize whatever quest you want. You can look at quest details on the right, and you can look at whichever one you want to get out of the way first, whether it be because the reward is greater or because it's easier, whatever your preference is. You can do the game in whatever order you want, except for some slight exceptions. There are certain quests that you cannot do before others, otherwise you risk failing a current objective. But there's only a few of those, and I'll explain them as I go. Right now, I need to run back up to the top of the village, towards the red circle on the map, because my prioritized quest is leading me in that direction. We must speak with Elvar again.
I thank you, cousin. Pray forgive the trouble my cowardice has placed upon you. Cortez did not trade his life for mine, so I could wallow in idle self-pity. I live the best I am able, for his sake.
Alright, that's 100 experience and 2,000 gold. Not complaining. I will take this oil, and I will take this blank scroll as well. So, our current quest that is prioritized is obviously upon a pawn, because we don't have any others. So as you see, it has the little orange sword next to it, but that quest leads us down the main quest line, and we're not going to fool with that yet. What I am going to do is grab some oil real quick. Having flasks of oil is very good, because you'll never know when you run out of lantern oil. So this is the pasture of the church in Cassardis, and he also has a very simple quest for us.
'Tis selfish to beg a favor in such times, I know, but there is aught I would ask your help in. Might we speak a moment, privately?
Sure.
My thanks. 'Tis a sensitive matter. I would ask your discretion. In the wake of the dragon's coming, many of the villagers have come to offer prayers. As a novice and a newcomer, I welcome the chance to be of use, but my scriptures are missing. I have yet to commit the verses to memory. Without the text, I cannot offer up a proper prayer. The scriptures were secure in the chapel last I saw them. I do not wish to. If you come upon them, pray see them back to me. I would be ever in your debt.
Ignore my stupid cat. No, she's being loud and obnoxious. Just ignore her. Alright, now, as you can see, there is a different colored bubble above both of their heads. This guy has a yellow bubble above his head. That symbolizes he has relevant information to one of my quests. Not necessarily the prioritized one, but a quest nonetheless. This red bubble means that he's obviously containing knowledge of my prioritized quest, which is upon a pawn. The village elder there, he is the one I was just talking to, so yes, he has information on my current quest. But here's what happens when I prioritize the other quest. Lost Faith, the one we just accepted from the pastor of the church to find the Father's book. This guy's bubble has turned red because he has information on the prioritized quest. He obviously knows something about the book.
'Twas me. I confess it. I took the Father's book from the chapel. I tried to go back and find the book, but I was in such a panic as I ran.
You little bastard.
I just wanted to look at it. Just curious is all. Forgive me. I cannot remember where I lost it. I thought to steal a glance and then return it, but the dragon came and I dropped it as I ran. Cor, what am I to say to him now?
Alright. Well, for those of you who do not know the location of the scripture, Some of you might spend a long time looking for it, hours maybe, but I've come to tell you that the scripture is right there, directly on the roof, right where I just shot my arrow. That little dark spot, that is the book, the scripture. And the easiest way to get down to it is to simply hop down, maneuver the roofs without falling and dying, and you are good. There it is, the scripture. And on the side, notice how right before I picked up the scripture, you can see items on the side being obtained without me actually grabbing stuff. Your pawns have a mind of their own. I really must give this game credit. The AI in this game, although it is very repetitive, and your pawns tend to rant and never shut up, they are at the same time very intelligent and witty. They also have the ability to explore on their own, and they are not afraid to take the initiative. Alright, I'm actually going to go parkour my way to the other side of the roof so I can grab that chest over there. Yeah, you might look over there and just be like, how are you going to get to that chest? Well, the answer is parkour. Get a running start and vault. Alright, Flemica, a combination item. And by exploring further down these roofs, I do believe there's another chest. Yes, it is directly over there. Running starts are always good. If you know you're going to make the jump, just get a running start. Okay. What do we got here? A workable table? I don't really need that. Okay. Darn it. Running. Man, my analog is really going bad. Running start. Yeah. Still got it. Yeah, this game will bring out your inner Peter Parker. Alright, that should be the last chest located on this side of the city. Okay, I think we're good. Oh, come on. Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever the Arisen can. Okay. Now, the cool thing about being in the village is, my favorite mechanic about being inside any kind of civil or village-like area is you have infinite stamina when you run. Not when you attack, I don't think. We're about to find out. Yeah, not when you attack, but when you run.
The road runs straight from
It's very useful. So now that we've found the scripture, it is time to give it back to the Father. But let's see what this little douchebag has to say.
Whoa, where did you find it? I'm glad it's found, but see it back to the Father for me, please. Thank you.
Ah, man. You slowly turn into just the kindest human being that ever lived as you do quests in this place.
I am newly come.
Yeah, that's just his dialogue. At the end of every dialogue sequence, if you are on a quest that involves retrieving an item to somebody or collecting items for somebody, they will give you a regular dialogue as you talk to them, but then you are given the option to hand over whatever it is that they are seeking. Now, I know that seems kind of pointless right now, but believe it or not, it becomes a very useful and conniving mechanic later in the game. And the way I use that word, conniving, is interesting because it's true.
The scriptures! You found them! Oh, Maker be praised! I cannot thank you enough. Truly, the people of Cassardis are a good-hearted bunch. Now I can once more offer proper prayer on behalf of the village. But I have dallied long enough. There is work for me to do.
Alright, so we leveled up. That is 2 village quests down the hatch, and the sun is starting to set.
From day to night, this area feels completely different.
Ah. Oh man, hopefully I won't have any frame rate issues as I keep playing. No, the only thing I really have left to do is get the final chest in this place, which is not far away. Actually, there's one over here, I believe. I think. Jump. Okay, where is it? There it is. Money. Now, you guys know me by now. I love money. I love having lots of money. Let's see what we can do over here. Does this have something in it? An empty flask. An empty flask means oil or water. Oops. What do we got here? Desiccated herbs. A wonderful healing item, if I do say so myself. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and say we can make that jump. Oh, come on. I'm not a liar, and you can definitely make that jump. It's just we landed right on the corner where there isn't a flat surface that you can grab. So let's go ahead and try that again. Come on, come on. Ugh. I know you can make that jump. It is not even 10% impossible to make that jump. I know we can do it. Especially if I had the double jump ability, which I don't. Ooh, bird nest. And it dropped an egg. The egg refills health and stamina. Very useful item. Alright, let's try this one more time. Ah, man. Can't believe it. I can usually make that jump, but I don't know why it's not letting me do it now. Okay, there's like one more chest, I think.
Is this the chief's dwelling then?
No. I don't need to go in here. There we go. Cloud wine. A mixture item. Okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And there's this chest. Flemica. And yes, the flask of oil is also good to have. Don't see anything worth taking in here.
Are you certain we ought to enter someone's home unbidden?
Oh, shut up, Rook. Life's about taking risks, not knocking before you enter. Jeez. We're about to go fight a dragon and he's concerned with offending people. What a nerd. Okay, I do believe that that should be it for all the chests in the game. So, before it gets too dark to explain this, because yes, there are rules in this place. This right here is the market. Talking to this lady, you can purchase healing items, you can purchase tools, weapons, armor, the likes. I do believe over in these buildings you can purchase similar things, curatives, materials, stuff like that. All three of these places consist of such, and Yes, I know she sells stuff like that too.
Seems they trade in textiles, though I'm not certain they're open.
Alright. Before I end the video, we are going to, actually, you know what? I'm just going to knock out all the Cassardis quests in one video. Let's go ahead and talk to this woman. She is going to be the last person to give you a quest in Cassardis before we actually have to leave the village, which is going to be... It's going to be a fairly important event, because leaving the village your first time is going to be your first step into danger and potential death.
I'd craft dressings for the wounded, had I the makings. If only I'd known. Cuz I need a favor. Can you fetch the flowers I need from outside the village? I need more of the one you see there, and one other sort besides. The more you can find, the better.
Alright. So, let's look at our current quests. Now, clearly we still have the Upon quest because I haven't left the village and gone to the encampment like the village chief said, but we're not going to worry about that. What we are going to do is prioritize this quest, Floral Delivery. She's asking us to bring her 5 Sunbrights. Now, I know that, Rook. Jeez. So let's go... Ah, this guy right here. He has a red bubble above his head. That means he has valuable information about our prioritized quest. Let's give him a chat.
I hear Benita has you picking flowers for her. Pray, just be cautious, cousin. The monsters grow bolder by night. If you must leave the village, go prepared. I do not fancy the thought of you going off on your own, but I trust in your judgment. If you come by the inn, you can always rest until the hour you wish to set out. In any case, take care. What can I do you for?
Now, that did not give me any useful information about my quest particularly, but it was useful information nonetheless. They say that the sunbright grows under large trees, and I do believe that's what one of the NPCs will tell you about this quest. They say it grows under large trees. And the useful information he gave us was that we can rest until daytime or until nighttime or whatever it takes to get ourselves in the correct position to proceed with a quest. And you can also manage your inventory, which I'm going to do right now. You can put things away, you can take things out, or you can combine. You definitely want to take advantage of all 3 of these because they will be very useful. Now I'm going to put some stuff away, things that I don't need particularly. I'm not dealing with magic, so I don't need that. I'll hang on to that stuff. I don't need my flask. I don't need the water. I do not need the Conqueror's Periap. Always keep your lantern. Don't ever put that away. I don't need any of these. Basically, any materials that you have, you can always put those away. I forgot to put those on. That's right, I looted those on. I looted those in that chest on top of the village. Alright, and this board right here, even though we already have a few quests, you can always look at the notice board in the village and you will see quests available. They're always small quests. So, yeah. We'll take a look at those, or a closer look at those in a second. Now, as you can see, it's getting pretty dark. Now, me, being your lovely host, Let's Play Dark Souls HD, I'm going to make your life easier and let you in on some nice information that will help you complete this floral delivery quest at a much faster rate. Now, as you can see, we cannot enter any of these houses right now. Oh, oops. Looks like we can. When it becomes nighttime, you typically cannot enter houses. When it gets too dark, the door is usually locked, and you can't enter because the NPCs inside are sleeping. They all have schedules. Alright, now we are looking for a very special flower. And we're gonna find it.
I see a chest of some sort.
By
the cliffs.
Where? By all means, point out the chest, Rook. Did you see a chest? Oh, wait. Were you talking about this one? This chest right here? Shut up, Rook. Just don't even talk for the rest of the playthrough. Man. Alright, we are looking for a very special flower that only grows at night. And you will only see this flower at night. Right here. The moon glow.
Shall we take it?
Yes, we shall take it, Rook. I thought I told you to shut up. Alright, and I know what you're thinking. That is not the flower that she asked us to pick up. It said nothing about a moon glow whatsoever. We were told to get 5 sunbrights.
Percy.
What?
Push the back out the car for me. Tell whoever you're talking to for there.
It seems the dragon left many injured in his wake.
Alright. Now, since we have the moon glow and we require 5 sunbrights, we don't want to leave the village at night, simply because enemies become much more aggressive at night. There are more of them, and they also become more difficult. They become smarter, they regroup, there are more of them, and they are tougher. They have more resources, and they will kill you faster. So, I'm not going to go do that yet, but what I'll do is in the next video, I'll rest until daytime. We'll pick up from there, and we will definitely go get those sunbrights during the day when it is much safer. We will complete the last village quest, and from there, we'll be able to go to the encampment, proceed with the game, and we'll make some progress. So, it is officially daytime, it's nice and bright out, and we'll be able to leave and go get those sunbrights after we accept these other quests on the board. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time.